Hello and welcome back to the land of SIKA. We've just taken the last castle from the wulltes and I am now just looting them. Now, here's the thing. They actually wanted to make peace with us. I'm very worried about this particular thing, mostly because I don't think I'm going to be able to really determine what kind of deal we're getting. Because if I obviously agree with them, then we're obviously not going to be able to determine anything about it. We can pretty much just let them do it, and they're going to get anything they want. However, that might not be the worst thing, because you can see here... oh, never mind. Okay, never mind. Before I went into Utherlame Castle, Druimore Castle was actually under siege, and it seems like that is not the case any further, so it seems like they were either defeated or they just basically ran away. So what we're going to do is we can now make peace with them. So I am actually going to say, yeah, we will just make peace with them. This is obviously going to free a lot of people, but this is also basically going to make it so that the wulltes will just completely... I do not want to own this. I'm sorry. I do not want to own this at all. I'm going to give this to this fellow. All right. So anyway, yeah. Now I had to spend 380 influence to do that. Oh well, never mind. Okay, so the wulltes are done. They are completely and utterly out of the game. Or at least they very well be, you know, they very well be kind of soon. So we don't have to worry too much about that. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to disband my entire army, and we are just going to make our way back to my settlement, and I'm actually going to launch an attack against the nearby fief really fast. And this is exactly what I was talking about in the previous episode as well, or the one before that, where I was talking about how important getting influence actually is, or at the very least, maintaining your influence. Because here's the thing. You see how much I had before? I had, what, 1,400, 1,300 or something like that? Now I have 450. And that is purely for the fact that I am disagreeing with the populace in regards to their voting preference. And for me personally, it needs to be done. I need to do that. If I don't do that, then, well, I'm gonna have to take care of this castle, and I really don't want to have to do that. So, yeah, that's the reason. Anyway, the Lamoka are now our enemies, and they are, of course, going to be doing their utmost to try and murder us in every single respect. So I will try very hard to get back to my settlement, because let's face it, I have 1.4 million gold to spend, and hopefully I'm going to be able to do something with that. Anyway, more marriage offers coming in for Malethvon, as you might expect, and otherwise, yeah, now things are going to get interesting, because the Lamoka are pretty strong. I wouldn't say that they're the strongest, that's for sure, but here's the thing. I'm actually wondering whether it may be an idea to... wait a minute. Did they just declare war? Yeah, they just declared war against us. Okay, yeah. So now, here's the thing, okay? Look at this. If we wanted to make peace right now, that would be 14,000. All right. Anyway, we're just going to wait a little bit. That price will actually modify and go down a little bit. And then when it goes down to about 5,000-6,000, then I'll probably make peace with them. Anyway, as I wanted to say, I'm actually wondering whether it would be a good idea for us to literally just eliminate the Lamoka and then probably call it a day. We might want to call it a day in terms of the series as a whole, because here's the thing. If we can eliminate the Lamoka completely and have very little issues from the Prauen and the Rablam, we will own easily, what, 75% of the map? I mean, we've basically eliminated almost single-handedly these various factions in the area. I'm obviously not talking about my vassals being excluded or anything like that, because they've actually been doing a very good job, all things considered. But the point is, at that point, when the Lamoka have been eliminated, we're going to be so strong, it's going to be very unlikely for any of the other factions to be able to fight against us. So that's kind of the reason why I'm maybe just thinking about that at the moment. Not sure. we'll see how it goes. But yeah, as you can see, 12,000 still. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit problematic if we cannot declare peace with the Prauen. I could just pay them 12,000, but I really don't want to do that, all things considered. That would be really awful. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyway, custom troops are available. This is also the reason why I said, yeah, this is, you know, we really want to have as much money as we can get our hands on. Look at this. Every single soldier costs us almost 3,000. So if I were to get 40 of these, how much do you think this is going to be? 114,000 dinars. Actually, not even that expensive. I actually thought they might be a little bit more than that, but yeah, 40 of them straight up. And now we have 164 eggplants. That is so incredibly cool, in my opinion. And now we can just get a couple more of these. We can just rescue them. And now we're going to go into the town straight next to us, right here. Just right here, just going straight in. And we are going to probably be able to take this relatively easily. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm also going to attempt to get my my actual house upgraded as much as I can. And hopefully I'll be able to get the golden house, because I think it would actually be kind of cool if we could see that on screen. Not sure how long that's going to take, or if I even have enough resources to be able to make that work. But it would be wonderful if we could actually see it. If it's even implemented, I don't even know. But if we can get our house to level 10, then we will be able to see it. It's going to be quite the treat, I guess. Anyway, ooh, this is cool. All right, we actually spawned around here. As I said before, I feel like the maps are dramatically underused. I personally feel like there should be multiple stages of the siege, you know. For example, let's face it, are the defenders going to wait inside? Maybe. But maybe sometimes they wouldn't. So what about this, where you have the opposing side? Let's say that they have a lot of enemies in there. Like, you know, let's say they have, I don't know, 2,000 defenders or something like that. This is obviously a bit of an exaggeration, of course. But let's say they do, right? Let's say they do have a massive amount of people. And maybe they don't have enough space in the actual garrison itself. And so some of them are going to wait outside, and they're going to try and tackle you in a field battle. But the field battle is also the same instance as the siege itself. So you're basically doing that first initial field battle, and then you're going straight to the ladders and doing whatever it is you can there. In my opinion, that could be really fun, because it basically makes it into a multi-stage battle while being seamless. So 0 loading screens or anything like that. I think that could be really, really cool, because there are so many of these really very well fleshed out environments in and around this area. I mean, for example, you see that aqueduct over there? I mean, it's underused. I mean, literally, you see it right there and you think, oh, okay, that's some cool scenery, right? I mean, it's very cool, you know, don't get me wrong, it's really cool, but it's just not being used, and it feels like such a waste. And it's the same thing with walking through the town. I believe actually someone commented something like that, where you basically said it was extremely disappointing to see that the battle is so incredibly focused on the gate and the surrounding environment, and that's it. You know, it's basically focused on the battlements and the gate, and that's pretty much it. And well, while that's not terribly bad, I would definitely say that it needs a bit more expansion. There needs to be the AI spawning from various places, not in the middle of the air, obviously, not from out of thin air, but generally, you know, just need, like, look at that. You see that? You see they just spawn right there? That needs to change, in my opinion, and it generally just needs you to have the ability to run through the streets. I think it could be so fun if we had them running through the streets instead of just appearing right there. I'm actually really surprised that it's still like this when the game is just about to be released, because I would have expected this to maybe be like kind of like a not a placeholder, so to speak, but kind of like an early version sort of mechanic, because obviously them spawning out of nowhere really doesn't make much sense in a realistic fashion. But who knows? Maybe they're actually planning on doing that. Maybe they are. I don't know. I don't have any insider information. If you thought that, then, well, I'm sorry. I don't have anything to tell you about that, but it would be really cool. It would be really, really cool if we could have people coming out from buildings, or just generally coming out from alleyways or something like that, because let's face it, we really don't want to have a situation where they come from a building and then they get stuck in the doorway or something like that. Like, for example, look at this alleyway right here. Look at this. It's completely underused. There's no invisible wall. And theoretically, you could have people... I mean, look at this. I can walk all the way over here. Wow. This is actually really expansive. It's very surprising to see that they're not using this area. Like, for example, they could all spawn here, right? You could have enemies spawning here, and it's out of sight, you know, so literally it's right here. No one can see it. You know, even the player can't really see it from where they are up there, and they're going to have to fight all the way down, and it's just generally really nicely nestled away, and I don't know. It feels like a pretty cool thing to do, possibly, but I guess we'll see what happens as time goes on. Ooh, we got some Devour Demons. Yes, come to me. Thank you. And we have a huge amount of troops to rescue, actually, as well. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm literally just going to take all of them, and we'll see if there are any prisoners for us. No, we don't have any, of course. All right, so let's just take all of this. I actually wonder how much money the Lamoka have in their marketplace. It must be a massive amount. No, only 69,000. Really? Only 69,000? Okay. Anyway, yeah, someone had a really good idea. Sorting by value. Sorting by value is a really good way of offloading a lot more items in comparison to anything else. So basically what you can do is you can just do this, and because you are selling such a small amount, you know, selling for such a small amount, you are offloading so many more items. So thank you very much for giving me that that wonderful, shall we say, inspiration for doing this now, because it really makes a huge difference. Look at that. And now I can just... yeah, it's just a habit, okay? It's just a habit for me to put 20k in here, because everything is maxed out, so it basically doesn't make any sense for me to put 20k, but you never know, maybe something is going to benefit from it. I don't know, maybe repairing the walls or something like that, maybe that makes a difference. I really have no idea, but anyway, we're going to go into the garrison here, place these units in here as well, and then we're just going to move on. I don't see a reason for me to modify anything else, and I'm actually going to be taking ownership over this town. I don't see a reason why I shouldn't, considering it's right next to my settlement. I mean, really, kind of makes sense, right? And also, we are the same culture as this particular town, so it kind of makes sense in all kinds of ways. So I'm really happy about this. Anyway, let's see here. Settlement construction. Okay, we're going to do player home. So yeah, player home is a place for the player to rest. After the player home reaches level 10, the player home will become a golden palace. Yes, there we go. Let's do that. All right. Let's go to the hospital real fast, just to heal ourselves a little bit. Wow, I only heal myself for 6% every single time I do this. Wow. Okay. Yeah, so now we can just rest here for a little bit of time. I want to do that anyway, because my forces do need to recover, and we can now choose the owner. Can I... Are you serious? Oh, that is so sad. Okay, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to take ownership of this particular town, because we have those new vassals that joined us from the wulltes, which is exactly what's happening. All right, so it seems like the Prowan, unfortunately enough, are actually going to force my hand here, and I'm actually going to be paying... I'm not going to be paying any money to them, because I don't have enough influence to be able to force my council's hand. Yeah, right. Okay, yeah. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. Influence can be extremely useful to you, but unfortunately this time around, not so much. And now this is exactly what's going to happen. The Prowan are going to take Dongzhou, which is actually going to be kind of awful, because if they take that, that means that we are then going to have just that much less territory for us to move to and secure and indeed consolidate. So That's going to be a bit problematic, but yeah, also we are having some issues over here, of course, as you might expect in Yarian territory, but if we can sweep over the Lamoka very quickly by going from castle to town to castle and so on and so forth, then we should have a slightly easier time of things. I'm actually just going to wait a little bit longer for my player house to be done. 9 hours. It requires more, 9 hours more. All right, so we're just going to wait 9 hours more, and then I will just start the next upgrade, and then I will go and I will try to take the castle. There we go. All right, so now we can do the player home once again. 600 points. That's absolutely fine. And let's go over here to Onika Castle. Yeah, there we go. All right, so this is going to be a pretty easy siege. We don't really need to worry about this too much. Got some people to join us as well. There we are. And I kind of, you know what? I'd really like... Oh, wait a minute. Peace offering from the Lamoka. Yeah, you can take that, and you know where you can shove it. You know, you really do. Anyway, we will hopefully have... Oh, it seems like another castle was actually taken. Okay, that's pretty nice. Yes, so anyway, we will hopefully have some of these vassals actually helping us going forward as well, because we have a very significant combat strength right now in terms of our faction. We have a lot of clans that have joined us. So I'm very much hoping that they're going to contribute something useful instead of basically just running around randomly, not doing that much at all. Anyway, I'm basically just going to fast forward this entire siege. I'm gonna go in. I will go in, but I'm gonna let my forces go first. And usually castles are pretty simple for us to take, but as you can see, the Lamoka have spent a massive amount of time just building their forces up, and I wouldn't be surprised if we're gonna have huge issues even trying to get in here, to be honest. Wait a minute. Can I actually get in? Oh no. Okay, this might be problematic. Oh dear. Actually, it seems to be working quite well. What? How did they allow us to survive? I'm so surprised. What? Okay, that is real weird. Anyway, I'm going to get out my bow and just do a little bit of damage right here. This is... this is very, very enjoyable. Very satisfying to be able to do that. Because obviously the worst thing is when you try to get into the battlements or onto the battlements and you're immediately eliminated just purely for the fact that you got trapped and killed. And that can happen a lot, you know, that can happen so many times. So it's really nice that we're actually not having that kind of experience happen here. And I'm just going to speed up the rest of the fight. I don't see anyone else that can actually damage us right here, and my people are just sweeping across the archery nest as well. And there we have it. An easy victory at Onika Castle, as you might expect. Alright, so it's time for us to take the next town, and this is going to be a little bit more difficult if these guys actually know how to defend, which it seems like they do. As you can see, they're actually... No. Okay. Oh, that is... Okay, that is very strange. I was actually thinking to myself, you know what, they're actually going to defend, you know, they're actually going to stand there and try to block my entry, but no, they just didn't. No, they just kind of ignored me, which is actually fine, because now I get a little bit of fun inside the enemy's archery nest, and I can actually do some nice damage here and there with my wonderful dragon weapon, which of course is apparently, according to some of you, who is it? Guan Yu? Guan Yu's weapon or something like that? I'm not entirely sure. As I say, I am a fan of Dynasty Warriors, but I'm not familiar with all of the characters. Obviously, you know, it's been a while. Let's just say that it's been a while since I played. I think someone actually asked me what my favorite is from the series, and I gotta say I do like 8, even though a lot of people don't. But I got the Extreme Edition on Steam, and I thought to myself, yeah, this is pretty cool. I like it, because it does have the Empires mode, or whatever it's called. What is that career mode thing, where you take over the world, or try to take over various points of territory and things, and you fight over that. Not sure what it's called now, but it's kind of like the conquest mode in, you know, Star Wars Battlefront or something like that. It's kind of like that. But in Dynasty Warriors, and obviously that's pretty fun, right? Or at least I think it's pretty fun, and that's the reason why I'm consistently hoping for them to do something like that, where they basically make pretty much a Dynasty Warriors game, but just add a bit more of a strategic layer to the whole thing. So you're obviously fighting battles like you would in Bannerlord, but you're also doing stuff on, you know, the world map and building up your base. Building up relations with people, and so on and so forth. And generally you can do that quite a bit in Dynasty Warriors 8, but obviously it's a little bit more limited than what I would like, but it does a decent job. It does a decent job, but it does get a little bit repetitive at some point, but I've had a decent amount of fun in it, and you can pick it up pretty cheap, I think, on sale. I think it's usually around $10 or something like that on sale, so it's not too bad, and it does give you a pretty significant amount of gameplay for that price. But of course, there are probably better, you know, there are probably better places to go for that, but yeah. Anyway, that's where the weapon is from. It's always funny how I always go on a tangent, don't I? It's just like, oh yes, this weapon is from there, but that also happens, and then I go from point A to point B to point C to point G, and then it's just like, yeah, okay, what was I talking about originally? Yeah, that kind of thing, doesn't it? Yes. Anyway, there we are. The town has been taken. All right. One casualty. Yes, one casualty. As I say, it feels to me like maybe we are too strong, and maybe now we just want to call it a day. On the series, that is. Maybe we just want to do that. Obviously, this is not going to be the final episode, because I haven't made that decision yet, but generally, we may have to think about it sometime soon, because otherwise it's just, well, not entirely sure. I'm not sure whether it really makes sense. So let's just take a quick look at the marketplace here. 62,000, really? Just 62,000? Whoa, wait a minute. 7,000 for that helmet. Okay. Well, whatever the case, look at this. This is so incredibly useful. Really, really nice idea. Super, super good idea. Obviously, I think if I were to sell weapons, I might be able to get rid of more weight. I think someone also said my saddles are weighing me down. I don't think I have that many saddles. As you can see, I have very, very few saddles because I actually offloaded those a little bit earlier. A little bit earlier in the series, so I don't have a huge amount of those. Anyway, this has now been taken, and now we can move on. I really want to make peace with the Prowan. I have 13% support right now. I'm actually wondering when my council is even going to believe that we need to make peace with them. It's kind of irritating that they have so much power at the moment, and I basically just don't have any influence whatsoever over the decision, because it would be wonderful if I could just force that through, considering the fact that I am the leader and I am the player character, but obviously if the Senate policy is instituted, they have double the amount. Is it Senate? No, it's peerage. Never mind, it's peerage. Peerage is the thing that I'm talking about. That actually increases the cost of influence if you want to overturn any of your council's decisions. So yeah, that's obviously going to be really expensive. But, well, I can't do much about it, because, again, I can't actually overturn peerage if that has been instituted, because, again, it is just way too expensive, hilariously enough. What a wonderful circle of hatred that is. Yeah, it's just literally going around and around in circles, just basically being like, oh, yes, you'd like to remove this particular influence cost? Oh, well, you need this much influence to be able to do that. Yeah. That kind of thing. Oh well, never mind. Let's see what we can do about this. This is another town, as you know, so this might very well be a bit difficult, but as I say, every single time we go into one of these, usually we're actually able to win relatively simply, so I'm not sure whether that's just the Lamoka being relatively easy to defeat, because that might very well be the case. It might just be the Lamoka being a bit weakened due to some reason or another. I actually have no idea why they would be weak, but they do seem a little bit easier than other factions that we have fought. Well, I mean, that happened. Can I actually zoom in? No. Oh, I can. That is just really, really funny. Okay, I'm not actually going to do this. I'm going to go back. Oh, okay. Apparently, I'm not going to go back. I thought to myself, I'm going to go back, but no. Never mind. Yes. You know when that kind of thing happens when I fall off the wall or something like that. I always think to myself, oh, how frustrating that is. But as you can see, my forces were able to still capture the town without my assistance, which is very, very reassuring. But still, yeah, kind of sad in many respects. But I suppose, I mean, considering we have this army, I mean, it's not really surprising, right? Yeah, not really that surprising. Okay, so we'll just take all the loot, even though I have a lot of money. And we're just going to manage the town, just in case. Oh, we actually have some fairgrounds to still improve, so I guess that's kind of nice. And let's go to the marketplace right here. 71,000. Let's actually sell a bunch of weapons this time around. Maybe we're going to be able to get rid of a little bit more. Yeah, a little bit more weight. Yeah, I think this will definitely help. This is going to help a much greater amount than the armor, I think. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. There we are. Another 71,000 for us as well, which is always nice. And we can now just place these units in there too. All right, fantastic. So look at that. Look at how easily we have just taken all of that. And that is it. Look at that. That entire region is now ours, and then we can just move on here, and there's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fiefs in this area. Actually 6, if you count Thraktarai Castle. And then obviously you have a bunch over there too. We also have an army that is attempting to besiege the Prowans Dongzhu, because obviously they took that back, which is very irritating. But maybe my forces will be able to fight back a little bit in the meantime. But yes, for me personally, I'm probably going to be spending quite a bit of time at my settlement upgrading my... What was that? Did you see that? Some random numbers or something like that? I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, I'm going to be spending a bit of time upgrading my settlement, upgrading my player home within my settlement, of course. And hopefully I'll be able to get to rank 10. I don't think I have enough wood to be able to do that, which is a little bit disconcerting, but yeah, I probably won't have enough. I can actually spend some to heal. There we go. Wow, that's... I need to upgrade my hospital, actually. I think upgrading my hospital would probably make sense, considering at this point I have so much HP, and it would really make things a lot easier for us in the long run. But otherwise, there is actually an army going on here. I'm probably going to deal with them too. And otherwise, I think that's probably going to be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.